Okay, so this is our first remote learning new content lesson. So how this works is I will record a video for all of our lessons. When we're in class together, we're going to watch this video together as a class and pause it and do stuff as we need to. If you are absent for any reason and you have to watch it later, you can find it in the Google Classroom. And you can watch it yourself and pause it as you need to work through the problems. What's also great about having this recording is that if you're working on the homework or some of your IXL skills and you can't remember how to do something, you can go back and watch the video again or just watch a part of the video to help you remember how to do something. Okay, so today we're doing Module 1, Lesson 1. The objective of today, objective really means what we are going to learn by the end of class. So the objective is to understand equal groups of as multiplication. So the materials that you need are your whiteboard, your dry erase marker, and your dry eraser. So please, we're going to pause, make sure you have all those in front of you before we get started. This is our Lesson 1 vocabulary. So as we come across new vocabulary terms, I'm going to tell you what the term is, what it means, and then show you a picture or something to help you understand what it means. And all of this vocabulary can also be found in your Google Classroom. So if you're in your Google Classroom and you go to classwork, under Module 1, you'll see this Module 1 vocabulary. You click on that, and it is going to open up and show you the screen that you'll be seeing in our lesson right here, all in one place, okay? And as we go through Module 1 and add new vocabulary terms, they'll add on here. So if you ever can't remember what something means, you can go there and find it. Okay, so equal groups is our first vocabulary term. Equal groups means to have exactly the same amount or value. So if you look over here, we can count that there are 1, 2, 3, 4 leaves. So this group has a value of 4. If we look over here, we have 1, 2, 3, 4 leaves. So this group has a value of 4. Both groups have exactly the same value. Their value is 4. Okay, so they are equal groups. And equal groups just means they have the same number inside of them, okay? For this next part, you are going to need those materials that we got out. You're also going to need your virtual manipulatives. So if you're here in class with me, I'll send them to your screen. If you are not in class and you're watching the video, here is how you get to your virtual manipulatives, okay? You're going to go into your Google Classroom and you're going to open up in week 3 here. Today is 9/21, so you'll open Virtual Math Classroom. In your virtual math classroom, the manipulatives can be found here at Didax. So you'll click on that yellow box. That will open up the site that has your virtual manipulatives. Now we are using the 2 color counters, which are these right here. So you'll click on that, and there they are. Okay? All right, so first, we need to count out 12 counters. Okay, now you want to pick either one color or the other. Don't try to mix both the colors because that'll make it confusing down the road. Just pick one color and you're going to count out 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Now I like to go back and double count to make sure that I got the right number. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So go ahead and do that with yours. Make sure you have out 12. Next, you're going to make equal groups of 2. So I'm just going to drag them over. 1, 2. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Okay, go ahead and do that on yours. Make equal groups of 2. Now, how many groups are there? So go ahead and count how many groups there are, and now is where you're going to use your whiteboard. Write it on your whiteboard, and when you have that answer, go ahead and hold it up to the camera. Good, so we have 6 groups. So if we count them, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We have 6 groups. Write an addition sentence. Okay, so let's go back. We're adding all of the groups together. So this group right here has 2, plus this group 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 has 2, plus this last group has 2. Okay, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 groups. So in our repeated addition sentence, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 twos. Go ahead on your whiteboard, write down that addition sentence and solve it. So to solve it, you'll need to figure out the answer to how many counters we have all together right now on our screen. Okay, so if you solved it, you'll have 12, and that makes sense because we started with 12 counters, and we can also do that by skip counting. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. We have 12 counters. Okay, here's another vocabulary term. Unit, which is one segment, part, or group, and unit form, which is a number followed by the unit. So here's 2 examples to help us describe that. We have 6 twos, and if you look at our picture over here, we do have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 twos. So 6 is just the number, but twos is actually the unit, okay? It's the part, okay? So 2 is the unit, and the way we write that out in unit form is 6 twos. So that means it's the number followed by the unit, and we write the unit out in words, okay? Another example, and this actually should be 3 pizzas, okay? So over here we have 3 pizzas. Pizza is the unit, okay? So that's what each part is. It's a pizza. And we have 3 of them. So in unit form, it's written 3 pizzas, the number followed by the word in unit form. And if you ever forget what unit form is, remember it's in that vocabulary document. Okay, here's another vocab word, multiplication. And many of you may think that you know what this is already. And if you are, amazing. I'm so happy that you've practiced multiplication. Multiplication is an operation showing how many times a number is added to itself. Okay, so over here we have 3 times 2. There's 3 groups, 1, 2, 3, and each group has 2 popcorn buckets in it. If we look over here on this side, we have 2 plus 2 plus 2. So we have 2 popcorns plus 2 popcorns plus 2 popcorns. Well, if you look, our pictures are actually the same. Because here we're adding 2 plus 2 plus 2. And here is the same thing as 3 times 2, which is really 2 plus 2 plus 2. And in either equation, we end up with 2, 4, 6. 3 times 2 equals 6. 2 plus 2 plus 2 equals 6. 2, 4, 6. So really, multiplication is just repeated addition. You're just adding the same number over and over again, and that is how you multiply. So if you think multiplication's a little scary, just remember, if you can do adding, you're just adding. Okay, so we're going to go back to our whiteboards. And first, we're going to count out 12 counters. So back on your virtual manipulative, we already have 12 counters out. So you shouldn't have to bring out any more. Make equal groups of 3. Okay, so right now I have equal groups of 2. I need equal groups of 3. So go ahead right now on yours and make equal groups of 3. Okay, so all I did was take the counters and make them into equal groups of 3. Each of my groups has 3 counters in it. How many groups are there? Well, let's go ahead and count them. 1, 2, 3, 4. We have 4 equal groups. Write an addition sentence. Okay, well, we have 3 plus this group, which is 3, plus this group, which is 3, plus this last group of 3. Go ahead and write that addition sentence on your whiteboard and solve. So it should still be 12, right? Because we started with 12 counters, okay? We had 4 groups of 3, and down here we have 1, 2, 3, 4 threes. Okay, so really we're skip counting 3, 6, 9, 12. Or you can count them one at a time if you really need to. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. We have 12 counters. Write in unit form. Okay, well, we said we have 1, 2, 3, 4 groups. And each group has 3 counters. So that's like saying this is 3, and this is 3, and this is 3, and this is 3. So we have 4 threes. Okay, and that's unit form. Remember, it's the number followed by the word, which is the unit, okay? And each of those represents a group of 3, so we have 4 threes. And remember, in our addition sentence, we also had 4 threes. 1, 2, 3, 4. And that equaled all 12 counters. Write a multiplication sentence. Okay, so right now we have 4 groups, right? We said we had 4 threes, so I'm going to put that back up there. Now, this is the same as having 4 groups of 3, okay? Each group has 3 counters in it. Now, this X here, a lot of you would say times or multiplied by. I like to say groups of. And as I write it, I say groups of. So watch that again. 4 groups of 3. Okay, that will help you with your multiplication down the road. If we think of that multiplication sign as groups of, and that was part of our objective, if you remember from the beginning, is figuring out what groups of means. So we have 4 groups of 3, and that's our multiplication problem, and we know that that will equal 12 because we already counted those counters out, and we have 12. So 4 times 3 equals 12. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and do the problem set. Now, normally if we were in class together, we'd be doing the problem set together and then you would have your homework. But for this, I just want you to be able to see how it is done so that when you get to your homework, you understand what the problems are asking you, okay? So if you have your whiteboard in front of you still, I'm gonna want you to be working on your whiteboard and putting down your guesses as we go through this. Fill in the blanks to make true statements. 3 groups of 5 equals, go ahead on your whiteboard and write down what you think the answer is to 3 groups of 5. And it's showing you the picture. There are 3 hands, and each hand has 5 fingers. So you're trying to figure out how many fingers there are all together. Good, so there is 15. 3 groups of 5 equals, I'm gonna do a different color, you can see better. 15, okay? So you could have counted each finger, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Or if you already know how to count by fives, you could have just counted by fives. 5, 10, 15. 3 groups of 5 equals 15. 3 fives. Now 3 fives is written in unit form. And we know that 3 fives is the same thing as 3 groups of 5. And so that also equals 15. And then finally it gives us the multiplication problem, which is 3 times 5. We know that this X actually stands for groups of. So this is just like saying 3 groups of 5. Well, we already answered what 3 groups of 5 is. 3 groups of 5 is 15. Next problem, same thing, okay? We have groups of bananas here, and it says 3 plus 3 plus 3 plus 3 plus 3. Well, if you look, this is 3, this is 3, this is 3, this is 3, and this is 3. So it's just adding each group of bananas to itself, and that's that repeated addition, okay? So we can count the bananas, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. 3 plus 3 plus 3 plus 3 plus 3 equals 15. On your whiteboard, go ahead and put an answer for the next 2 problems. 5 groups of 3 equals what? And 5 times 3 equals what? And we know that 5 times 3 is really 5 groups of 3, just like here, 5 groups of 3. So go ahead on your whiteboard and write what 5 groups of 3 equals. Right, 15. 5 groups of 3 equals 15, and 5 times 3, which is really 5 groups of 3, equals 15. Okay, I believe this is our last one. Now we have some cartons of eggs, and it's doing 6 plus 6 plus 6 plus 6. So we can count them, but I don't think we really know how to count by 6s yet. Okay, so you can count each egg, or you can count by 2s. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24. Okay, and like I said, if you counting by 2s is still a challenge, you can go through and count each egg individually, and you'll still get to that 24. Okay, now on your whiteboard, this is a little more challenging. Okay, the question is blank groups of 6 equals blank. Go ahead and write down just that first blank on your whiteboard. How many groups are there? So write that number on your board of how many groups there are and hold it up to the camera. Good, so there are 4 groups. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 groups of 6, and we know that equals 24 because we counted it. Down at the bottom, the last one, okay, 4 times blank equals blank. Go ahead on your whiteboards and write that whole equation for me. This whole equation, what should it say? 4 times, and we know times is really groups of. So 4 groups of blank equals blank. 4 groups of 6, because each group has 6 eggs, equals 24. Okay, you guys did awesome at that. And that is it for our lesson. After that, you're going to have to go into, if you're watching the replay, go ahead and go in to your Google Classroom, and you're going to have to complete that homework form. All right, and then we will also have IXL practice to do as well.